Hey guys, welcome back to Blue Collar Crypto. I'm going to record there's going to be a Reddit space for Archangel community. It's starting real soon, so let's check it out. A voice chat, it's going to be today. It's on Reddit, Archangel's Reddit page, and it's supposed to start any moment, so we're recorded, okay? So it ended up being a Twitter space for Archangel community. There's about 20, 25 people on there. About an hour and a half. So I recorded it, so check it out if you're interested. A lot of good information on there. Just describes a little bit of the Archangel and the Guardian project and the ecosystem and what's going on. And yeah, it was a good time. So check it out.
Hello, hello. How are you doing today?
Oh, pretty good, brother. Kind of a last minute deal here, so thank you the community for being able to switch platforms on the fly like this. You gotta love technology, brother. You gotta love technology.
Oh yeah, I wish I would have figured it out on Reddit the other day, not the minute before, but we always find a way.
yes, we do. That is the one thing about our community, man. We don't get knocked down. If there's a problem, there's a solution. We will find it.
Absolutely.
So let's see here. Who all do we want to get up on the stage? I see NWO in here. Bulls, welcome, guys. We got Lucifer, Zen, Blue Collar's with us. I see that we're still waiting for for Ski Chick and for Oath to make it in. Let's see here. I see Oath. Let's get him up on the stage with us. Oath, sir, check your... hold on. Hold up. What do I got to do different? All right, let's see here. It will only let me have 2 co-hosts. Well, guys, I see a lot of people pouring in. Give me a second here. I'm find the stage. We do it just the way we do it in the community. And let's let you come up for some reason. Angel Cakes, check your DM. Ophi, check yours. All right, guys. So happy Saturday to everybody. Wow, what a week. Let's see. I think everybody's trying to figure out how to check DMs in here real quick.
I mean, mine popped up right on my screen to co-host.
Yeah, for some reason, I just learned that Twitter Space only allows only up to 2 co-hosts.
Oh.
So it's me and you, brother, and then trying to get everybody else up in here. Let's see. Oh, for some reason, saying that he is not getting invited up to speak.
Let's see. Are they able to be unmuted so they can talk at least?
No, I should be able to bring him up to talk.
That's weird.
Invite to speak. Let's try that again. Ophi has been invited. Miss Bread, you should be invited. Well, welcome, Lucifer. I see you up there, buddy.
How you doing, Caddy?
Oh, pretty good, man. Pretty good. Happy Saturday to everybody.
Absolutely. It's beautiful out.
Sun shining on my end, but the temperature, you open that door to the moment, yeah, it makes you remind you that it's February still.
Yeah.
So let's see here, guys. Not. All right. So thank you for taking a few moments out of your Saturday just to kind of get together. This is something that the ARC community has been wanting to do for quite a while. First part with the community is finding a time where a lot of us can for time. Thanks ever for making some time on your Saturday to come join us here. Uh-oh, and I'm being told I'm breaking up very badly. Oh, this ain't no fun. Let's try this. Is that any better to everybody?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, you're better.
And the funny part is, it didn't change a dang thing. I put my headphones in, it's still playing through my phone.
Well, whatever you did, it does sound better.
Oh, heck yeah. Welcome, Muffy, man. I hear you there, brother.
Yeah, sorry, I had to turn on my mic in the actual app, but I should be good now.
Yeah. That's the one downfall. Twitter Spaces do not allow you to host them on a desktop, so you guys are stuck with me on my phone today. Oh, now just introducing everybody to the community. So with this space, it is a lot of us is from the ARCA community, guys. We've been around ARCA probably for quite some time, most of the speakers that are up here right now. So I am going to turn the floor over to you guys for a moment.
Go get him, Crispy. This was your idea.
All right, I will go first. Hello, everybody. My name is Crispy. I've been with Archangel since October 3rd. That's insane. It feels like it hasn't been that long. But I'm one of the community moderators over in the Telegram. You'll also see me very active on the Reddit page as well, posting updates and answering questions over there. So just glad to finally meet everybody on this AMA we're hosting. You're next. That's about it for me.
But Crispy, man, October, it feels like it was just yesterday.
Oh, I know. I mean, I still remember the night I was just like thumbing through Saitama subreddit, and I saw that one comment, which is, whales are moving to Archangel. I'm like, Archangel. Let me look it up. Went to the website, just went for the contract address, immediately bought, went back and read everything, and I'm like, oh my God, this project is insane. Like, what they are planning to do is something that has never been done before. And to get in on the ground level is mind-blowing.
It is. And, and speaking of ground level, I guess I should have pointed this out too. So many of my followers out there, I don't know if we got many in the room or not, but, I've been following ARCA since their pre-launch. And it got put on my radar, asked to vet it out. And so I jumped in, found their Telegram, found, the website and stuff at very early stages for them. And I was right there with you, Chris, man. I jumped on the website and I started doing some digging, and I'm like, all right, I need to block out like 3 hours of my night. It wasn't, just a splash page with a couple paragraphs. This was very technical, very detailed. For a pre-launch project, that is very rare that you see that much intricacy put behind this. You can tell that this wasn't a spur of the moment thing. This team, the people behind ARCA, truly put thought into the direction that it's going. And we've gotten to witness that unfold over the last 5.5 months firsthand. And let me tell you, I dug hard and I tried to find something. I tried to find something bad in this project. Like, there's always something that's a red flag. And man, the harder and harder I dug, the more I confided in it. And many people know out there, like, I only follow projects that I believe in. And if I've been with ARCA since pre-launch and I'm still here today, that's got to say something about that project or where I stand with it. So,
absolutely.
Man, brother, and it's fun. Like, you guys, everybody that is here today that are speakers, I can truly call every one of you guys friends. I spend more time with you guys than I do at home with my family anymore.
Roger.
Sorry, yeah, it's crazy. Like, the amount of time I spend just involved in Archangel socials. I mean, anybody with an iPhone, they know that you get that daily or bi-daily update of how long you spend on your phone. I think one day I had like 170 phone pickups, and I had like 8 hours spent on the Telegram. I was like, oh my God. And that's a work day.
Those are rookie numbers. You got to get those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers.
That's a work day and only on my phone. I'm like, oh, wow. That is, didn't feel like that long.
And Thank God for Android. We all know my beliefs with iPhone. I will argue this every day, but I am so thankful I do not have that as an option on my phone because it would drive me nuts.
The Archangel Telegram is basically burned into the pixels of my monitor. At this
Yes.
point.
I will not lie. I dream about like scrolling through Telegram conversations. Like I'll wake up and I'm like, wait, okay.
Why dream? Why dream it when you can do it?
And you know what, Ophi, I want to point out something. That phrase right there has been the whole model of ARCA all along. If you can dream it, you can do it. You know, some of the insight about ARCA is it's set out. Does anybody want to break down, you know, where was ARCA founded on? Like what brought everybody together on August 27th? Let's see. Oh, wait, am I the only one who is actually probably one of the true OGs in speaking right now?
No, I'll hop in for a second if you don't mind.
Heck yeah, Lucifer.
So yeah, I mean, I started out with Saitama on June 1st. I happened to get into that. And as I was going along, BSI came up. Obviously, we all know about that and what that did. But yeah, I took a chance in BSI, put some money into it, and then we all got rugged. So when that happened, obviously we know our leader, Joe, Ed, and AI, they took over, started forming this group. And on Reddit is when I found Archangel, and all the BSI people were migrating over to Archangel. So yeah, Reddit is where I found out about the migration and the name change and the team taking over. So I followed that, hopped in, and obviously since then, it has been crazy. Like you said, Caddy, looking at it's basically a dual path development, looking at the features and the epics that we had planned, and all of that stuff in the timeline that Joe laid out. I couldn't believe all of the things that were already being worked on, like right when we came out. And that just gave me more confidence in the program, and obviously in our leaders. But yeah, it's obviously going from there. I've been a moderator for a little bit now, and it's amazing. The friends I call family now, but
yes,
we're together so much. We communicate amazing, and obviously working with our other teams we have incorporated and projects that are following us. We have obviously Scratch. They've been a great group to work with. I know we're going to feature Charity on our Guardian page. Good group, and we have some other programs coming up as well. So it's just going to be really amazing to see how this changes over the next year. I mean, I'm trying to put it, and I'll try and look 5 years down the road, you guys. But with that, I can't. It's changing so fast. I have to move it to a year. Where are we going a year? All these new people coming in. I mean, all the support we get on the Twitter, Reddit, even Facebook. Looked at Facebook this morning. I couldn't believe all the information on Facebook and all the people asking questions. I'm glad we have a bot in there that answers. But yeah, no, it's been a great ride, and everybody that has helped me along. I know Miss Bread, Kristen has been amazing. Ophi, Kevin, all the Crispy. I mean, all those guys. But it's just one big family, and I cannot wait to see where we are in a year.
Right, man. That's the exact conviction that I have behind the project. To kind of piggyback off with what you're saying, you know, with how Joe, Ed, and AI, they came from BSI. I want to remind people, you know, they were just community members over there as well. You know, crypto is such a freaking wild, wild west out there. And that's one of the biggest freaking problems. And the reason being, you know, they've gotten used to the hype coin, the meat coin, the bullshit crap that's out there. Now, that's the one thing about ARCA that really set it apart is when I started doing the research, like this was everything but a meme. Like everything that drove this project, the passion, what lit a fire in this community that got them together is exactly what I went out to vet to stop. And I think that's where, you know, our visions were parallel of where we see crypto heading, what is needed within the space. And, that 5 months, I brought people into ARC, and I'll be honest with you, man, at first, some people took a look at our roadmap and they're like, you're freaking nuts. Like, that's too much to accomplish. This is never going to happen. Well, what was Joe's famous saying back then was, quote, just watch. So many of us sat back and did watch. And the more I watched, the more that I realized that this is the reality. Like, this is happening. With that being said, 5 months down the road with what you're talking about there, Andy, we're talking about, Scratch, which is an external project to Arca and its ecosystem. So I think let's touch base about Arca and kind of the structure of it, of how the ecosystem works and evolves there. So with Archangel, it has one of its main utilities that is available out there is its staking pool. What makes that staking pool unique with Arca? It is not, your typical DeFi staking. It is a rewards staking. How do you get rewards from that staking pool? Well, Archangel ecosystem, look at it and just close your eyes and imagine you're looking up at the stars of one planet, and that center planet is Archangel. And everything around it is starting to evolve. Rather, it's an external project known like Scratch and the NFT engine that they're building, the Scratch engine that they're building. What Arca is setting out to do is to touch every sector and every issue within crypto that the community that you guys see out there. What struggles is it that you hit? And I'll be honest, I was a little wary with that approach. Like, oh man, we're going out and we're reaching out to the thousands and thousands and thousands of people. But when the results came back, one thing Arca did at first is it launched, I think it was about 13 to 15 market analysis to reach out to the crypto communities and get their thoughts on and opinions on where they struggle, what could be easier, how do you go about these processes? We wanted to learn that true insight of how the average person does their research. Who do they rely on? What platforms do they rely on? What problems have they, came across in crypto? What hurdles? Because let's face it, guys, almost everybody at some point or another has hit a hurdle or roadblock within the crypto space. It is almost inevitable. That is what drove Arca to realize, let's face these problems head off. For every problem that's out there, there's a solution. And some solutions may be already being created. And that's where the ecosystem and external projects come into play. Guys, Arca does not picture crypto as a competitive space. We got to think about that. Where's crypto heading in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years? Look at how many tokens are available on CoinMarketCap. How many of them tokens are going to survive 12 months down the road? What's going to allow them to survive 12 months down the road? Guys, these are the questions that Arca asked very, very early on. So sorry, I just want to kind of lay that out there a little bit for everybody. If anybody else wants to pick up on the floor, give me 1 second here. Let me make sure we ain't got nobody requesting to speak. I don't see anybody. So if somebody else wants to pick up the floor there, Oaf, Crispy, Miss Bread.
Well, I haven't introduced myself yet, so I figure I might as well. The majority of the people that are here I already recognize from the Arca Telegram, so thank you guys for migrating over. The majority of you already know who I am. I'm a mod. I've been around since, oddly enough, the exact same moment, roughly, that Frank got involved. Or I'm sorry, dang it. We're even now.
Yeah,
Patty.
brother. Thanks.
So yeah, we got involved at roughly the same time. And when I first came into this project, and I've told Joe this, I thought he was delusional. I legitimately thought that he was delusional because he had these massive, world-changing, world-shaking plans, and I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Looks good on paper, but good luck with that. I'm gonna get a nice tiny little profit off of your launch, and then I'm gonna leave. And then I started seeing that every single thing that he had lined out as a goal started happening. And then I started paying attention a little bit more to this project. And over time, because the nature of crypto is that it is inherently extremely risky. You don't know what you're getting into, right? So trust in crypto is a rarity, if it exists at all. And what I found was over time, not only did I agree with what the project was trying to do, which is essentially just try to make it easier for everybody to get into cryptocurrency, that at its most basic, that is what Archangel is built on, right? So you have basically the creation of various platforms and projects within the ecosystem that are meant to make the process of getting involved in crypto easier. And then in addition to that, the staking pool by its own nature is meant as a way to just easily accumulate cryptocurrencies that have been developed by a trustworthy group of people. So over time, I not only started to believe in the project and what it was building and seeing the financial value of it, but I also started to trust the people that were putting it together. And I said a while back that the one thing that Arca really has that other projects don't is true transparency in an effort to gain the trust of the investors. And that is incredibly rare. And the majority of projects that I have seen do it will do it to a point. Archangel does it to a fault. They don't stop being transparent about anything, which is, and I know that's strange to say as we're doing our first Twitter space, but the reason that we're doing this is because we know that we have a community that isn't really involved in the Telegram, and they have questions too. And we want them to know that if they need answers, we are here to answer those questions for them. So all of that being said, I'm Ophi. I'm sure you'll see me from time to time. Thank you guys for coming through.
Definitely, brother. And you've been around as long as I have. You're right on that one. And also, I just want to throw this out there for the guys that are in this room. I see a few names that actually do not look common to me. One thing, you can always find me, Antonio, and Mr. Oslin every Sunday night, 9 p.m., 8 Central, on YouTube. We sent out that link. We host the Arca Cafe. It's something that kind of became unique to the Arca community. When that came around, our goal was just didn't set out to show Arca, but we wanted to show what communities can do. How can the space evolve compared to what's known in crypto to what could be? And that's that vision that set Arca Cafe off the ground, and why we're here with you guys today. The community reach is a very major and key factor within the crypto space. With most teams, you don't get a chance to talk with their devs. You don't get a chance to talk with their project managers or directors, or even using those terminologies. Almost those terms out there in the space is unheard of. It's the approach that Arca has been taking all along. And that's, one of the reasons why I've been here from the day one, and I'm not going anywhere. The vision that was laid out, it was very overwhelming at first and seemed incapable to the traditional cryptocurrency and digital asset space. Now, like you said, when this started to evolve, and there was one famous phrase that always got thrown out, and this is what really caught my eye, and it was two simple words, was just watch. Just watch, and watch it be built, watch it unfold, and when you're ready to make that move, you're ready to see what more of the community is about, just pay attention to the investment, pay attention to what is being built. And every step of the way. Now, I will say one thing, a lot of the people that are here talking today I don't want to say they've earned their place within Arca, because the community, it takes that community to make this happen, but everybody has put that is here as a speaker right now, has put that effort behind them. They have the beliefs behind the project of where it's heading and the vision that is trying to set out. Now, with the meme space, the hype space, that's 2021. That's last year. We're talking 2024, 2026, 2030, going down the road. And that is the mindset that the project has taken every step of the way. So hats off to them, guys. Hats off to every one of the moderators over there, because it's the community that makes this happen. It's you guys that make this happen. So my hats off to all of you there.
Well, thank you, Caddy. Hats off to you too.
Yeah,
but sorry to cut you off, Lucifer. To piggyback on what you were saying about how transparent and community involved Archangel is, I mean, I got into crypto about 6 years ago. Back then, you pretty much had no idea who the developers of any project were, and you didn't care. That was crypto. And then somehow along the lines, we got to how 90% of projects now, there's one person just called the dev, who is the project manager, the developer, the marketer, this, everything. And that's a huge problem within crypto. I mean, how many projects do you have now where you can just DM or message any of the developers a question and get a dignified, proper answer, like they're just talking to like any friend on the street? Beyond that, how many project managers of tokens will actually invite you to meet them in person? I mean, I know you've met Joe, Caddy. I've met Joe in person. And that was like something completely out of the realm of crypto for me.
Keep bragging about it.
I wasn't even going to mention that, but that is another very solid point there, Crispy. Out of all the projects I've vetted, I've had a couple of them, set some time aside for me, do a Zoom calls, things of that nature. But to literally sit down and have dinner with Joe, break out the laptop, and just literally go through step by step. He recognizes that passion that drives people. And I think that's one of his things that he shines on is Arca recognizes that what the community does. And he's a down home roots guy. He's not, I'm trying to think of a way to put this where it doesn't sound like I'm cheerleading too much, but in all actuality, he is a rare man when it comes to the space. You won't find him.
Let me say the thing that I think you're trying to say. So this is just my personal opinion. I feel like I can hear myself through somebody. I feel like the overlap between people who are project leaders and people who are sociopaths is there's a very large overlap in that Venn diagram. And I think the thing that separates one of the things that separates this project from others is that Joe is just a normal dude that has a legitimately good idea and wants the idea and the people who believe in that idea to be successful. That is his only ulterior motive, is to not only run a successful project, but to make sure that the people who believe in that project are rewarded for that belief.
Right. That's spot on there, Ope. And another thing, with about our developers, we got to remember, like you said, they're just like me, you, and the other person that's at the end of the speaker. Just a normal person. Now, the one thing that I will say that sets Joe apart from any other project team I've came across is he's demonstrated the intelligence. He's demonstrated the knowledge, the strategies that that project management itself. I've been a business manager for over 18 years in the real world, and I have not came across the level of expertise that this man has to offer. But at the end of the day, he will sit there and have that friendly conversation with you. He'll sit there and just BS with you like, you're sitting around at a table having a drink, or chopping down some pasta, I think that's where that you guys had went to, Crispy, ended up having some Italian that night. It seemed to be the tradition that was starting.
Oh, yeah. We were going over dinner options. You eat Italian or nothing?
Yep, man. And I'll tell you, I will admit, like, sitting down with somebody from crypto, it made me nervous as hell. Like, I took precautions out there. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm very safe, very secure. I called friends up in the town that we had dinner, let them know where I was going to be at. If they didn't hear from me at this time, hey, you just don't know.
It's funny because I did the same thing. I messaged the exact address of the restaurant I was going to. And, and I remember I'm thinking to myself, okay, I've been with Archangel for a couple months. I know Joe, we've talked on voice chats. But what are the odds that I'm actually meeting a project manager? And I remember he called me and he's like, I'm pulling up. I'm in a such and such car. And I see this car pull up and then a woman gets out. I'm like, oh, see, there it is. I was just ghosted by Joe. But it speaks volumes to how real of a person he is. And not only him, but every leader within Archangel like you said, they were like, it's blockchain and development isn't their jobs. They were regular investors like you and I that were tired of being bamboozled by project after project. So they said, you know what? We're going to do it ourselves and we're going to build it.
Yes. And that's the thing. The development has not slowed down, not the least bit. No matter the market conditions. And I think that's the other thing, that they've never stopped. That vision that they set out to do, every day progress is being made. And, they're very transparent about it. I remember when ARCA very first started, and we were having VCs in the Telegram literally almost daily and sitting there having a chat with Joe. Now, I will say times have changed a little bit. He is still active as heck over there. We still hold some VCs, but you can see that the progress is being made and time is being dedicated to that stuff because it's needed. What ARCA has done so far, just in these 5.5 months, was laid out in a 2.5 years in our roadmap. We wasn't expected to be at this point, I think, until the end of 2023. And it's not stopping. Every day, every week, every month, something new is being added within that ecosystem. And, that's the mindset and the approach they take. It's not being reactive to the problems out there, but being proactive to the things that are being, shining light and where the needs needing to be met. To me, that's what's setting ARCA apart. Like they legitimately listen to the community. And I want to remind people that ARCA is a community token. Like it's not owned by a development team. It's not owned by Joe. It's owned by you, me, and everybody who has holding a little bit of ARCA in their wallet. The voting that takes place over there within the ARCA community. Oh my goodness. Like
I also want to jump in real fast. Another thing that separates Archangel from every token I've ever gotten involved in is the fact that Caddy, your mic again. Nobody on the team, not the devs, not Joe, not the marketing people, none of them, none of us are being compensated for the work that we do. Every single thing that we do is based on the fact that we want to contribute to a project that has meaning, that has a purpose, that isn't just like, I'm not gonna demean other projects, but we have goals that we believe in as moderators, as devs, as project leaders, what have you, and those goals are the reason why we do the things that we do. From an investor standpoint, right? Because I try to think about Archangel as objectively as I can, right? I try to look at both the issues that I see with it as well as the positives. From an investor standpoint, when you have a staff that has been around for as long as we have, doing this work, not for money, but for the cause, to me, that's a huge distinction. That's something that just does not happen in a market that is consumed by intentions that are mostly based in greed and growth. This is about the reason I got involved in crypto in the first place is because I was sick and tired of struggling. And I saw people just like me who figured it out and they got into it because it was their way out of that struggle. So I got into it and I had no idea what I was doing at first. And I got rugged. I got manipulated. I put money into things I never should have put money into because I didn't know what I was doing. And that is the biggest barrier between cryptocurrency and what it can do for the average person. That is the barrier between crypto and mass adoption. When I came across Archangel, the technical jargon that it originally had in its white paper was nightmare inducing. I didn't understand any of it. But what ARCA is doing, the things that it is creating, both through Guardian, through Brainstem, through the projects that they are including in their ecosystem on top of those, these are things that if they had been present when I first got involved in crypto, when I first made the decision to get involved in this incredibly scary, pirate-filled, no man's land of anarchy and lawlessness, I would have learned so much faster, and I would have been a much better informed and comfortable investor. And I think that is the thing that so often gets overlooked with this token, because of the fact that like the community's small, right? And we're not selling ourselves as like the next 10,000x. Like, that's not what we're about. We're about contributing to change, and the benefit to not getting paid, to go full circle, is that if someone is only doing something because they're getting paid, if the price of the token drops, if something, I don't know, hypothetically, if something terrible was to happen in the world and all of a sudden, the bottom falls out for a couple of days, those people that are doing it solely for the money are going to leave. And there goes the support system for the token. There goes the support system for the project. The benefit to having project leaders that do this for free is they aren't getting anything for it. So their motivation cannot be taken away from them, right? So even as we currently sit in a historic moment, we're still here because we believe in the project, and that's the goal. It's just to keep pushing, keep building, and see what kind of crazy stuff we can build. Who's next?
I think there's somebody up here we still have not heard from. Mr. Fred, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. On Twitter, I'm Crypto Angel Cakes, but on Telegram, I am a different name. I'm Kristen, aka Get That Bread, and I'm a community mod. You guys have seen me around, I'm sure, in a couple different chats. I also admin for our official Facebook page, and I work with Caesar. You've seen him around too. I work with him on the socials platform marketing. So, as we run things like that, we use great graphics that Storm develops. So that's what I do for Archangel. I actually jumped in September 19th. So I've been in a little bit longer than you guys up there. Caddy, Crispy.
Hey, I've been in since the end of August. I was there pre-launch.
Damn it. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
I got in on the 17th. I got in on the 17th, so maybe take that attitude and put it somewhere else, okay? I'm real sick of that.
Oh, okay. We're going to talk later about your attitude, mister.
No, we're not.
Anyway. So September 19th, and I was not part of BSI. I had no idea about any of that. I was barely in crypto. I had been dabbling with some stuff, not knowing what I was doing for a couple months over the summer. But my brother was in crypto, and he said that basically I would be a fool if I didn't look at this new project, Archangel. So, sibling rivalry and everything. I don't like him telling me what to do. So I looked at it myself. And like some of the other speakers have said, it was a little overwhelming. The jargon was a little tough to get through. It was a lot, but you could also tell that there was a lot of thought and a lot of intelligence behind it. So I did my best. I looked around. I did my own research, and I agreed with my brother. At that point, it was time to just make a move as soon as this project's got off the ground. So looking back, I'm really glad I did. It's been awesome so far. The ups, the downs, the everything. The community has been probably one of the it is the best one that I'm involved in, because it's like family, and we throw that word around in chat all the time when we say fam, but it's truly how I feel about the leadership, people in leadership, the other mods, the admins, and the people we interact with every day in main chat and, in all the chats. So I guess if I just had to come up with 2 words to describe the project from my point of view, would be intelligent and strategic. I saw it back in the beginning and I still see it today, and I don't think that there's any stopping this project as far as using those 2 adjectives. I think I'll stick with those.
Yeah, you know what, Miss Brad, you're spot on. The intelligence and the strategic. That's what caught my eye. Again, like, you know, when I started to vet out this project very early on and I broke open that website, it's like, whoa, okay, let's take a minute. Let's go put on a pot of coffee and let's sit down and literally peel through this. The intelligence that went behind, you can tell that it, you know, it wasn't no 15-year-old.
You're breaking up again, Frank.
Oh, it's probably Twitter Space. I noticed this happens on occasion. So hopefully you guys can hear me a little bit better again. Hopefully it pulled out of its bullcrap. But no, I was just piggybacking and wanted to say, you know, with what Miss Brett was saying, with the being strategic and the execution of how all this plays out. When I researched this project and looked at their website, now I will admit the website was not. The website itself, it had room for improvement, but it was the details. It was the, you know, the.
Yeah, Frank, dude, you're breaking up real bad, man. I'm sorry.
He's fine for me. I think it might be on your end.
I can hear him just fine. You're good.
Same thing.
Okay, well, apparently my phone is garbage, and I'm sorry for interrupting.
Well, all right. Okay, I guess I'm not as crazy as I thought I was. Thank you. No, what? Oh, crap. I lost my train of thought there, guys. Anyway, so, you know, like with me, for the ones that do know what I used to do with vetting projects, like I follow a very hard due diligence. I have my own vetting process, and it has proven to work very, very well for me over the time within my time in crypto. And, you know, I've vetted out many projects, many of them, you know, very, very well, and I turned them away. And it's because of just a 1 or 2 red flags that popped up. And, you know, and nothing that was drastic, but it took a lot for me to believe in what was being done. So when I went back to, you know, Archangel's website and I'm vetting this out, at first glance, it's like, okay, you know, the website, it could use a little improvement, but it wasn't the layout of the website. It was the details that were within. And every sentence I read, I ended up coming up, putting the freaking coffee away, grabbing a bucket of popcorn and a soda, and literally was eating this as if I was playing a movie out in my head of something that is just so far-fetched out there of being accomplished. That is one of those almost too good to be true type things. So I'm like, all right, I haven't found anything that says that this is a rug pull, this is a scam, this is a honeypot, this is some malicious stuff going on. Every time I dug and was reading a little bit more and vetting out this project, my belief, my conviction just grew stronger with it. It's like I was trying to find that red flag. Like it became a mission of mine. And it just never turned up. And the reality of that was that what set this apart was it's not that I had a group of 10 people that was operating this project. There was a community of 500 people that was guiding this. And the way that our project, that Joe, Ed, AI, they literally are taking the community's advice and they're guiding it in the development stages. That to me is what truly set Arca apart. Is it has its own vision, but it was relied on by the community. It was every one of you out there that helped direct the path that it was laying out. And as the project, you know, has grown into its 5 months of life, that things are getting very honed down. The developments are occurring across many platforms. So, you know, within Arca's ecosystem, we just touched base on this earlier. So within the ecosystem, you have what they call external projects. External projects is its own development team, own funds, own marketing, own everything. But they can become an external project within Arca if, one, they offer something that will help change the space of crypto. It will make that end user enjoy the research. The biggest problem within crypto is 96% of people or 94% of people don't even know about crypto, or they do, and they're afraid to venture in because they've heard all the horror stories out there. Unfortunately, there's, you know, you got a handful of great stories, but you got even more of the ones that, you know, doing their research, they clicked a bad link. They ended up down a rabbit hole. Next thing you know, they either got honeypotted, they invested into something that, it was a smoke and mirror. And that with Arca is it at first with how wordy the website was, that's what I anticipated. I was expecting to see a smoke and mirror show, but it never happened. Everything that was laid out to occur has occurred and has been brought to the community and brought in front of the community of what's going on. When it comes to, projects preach transparency, they preach all this crap out there, but I'm telling you, when it came to Arca, that name should be in the definition by that word transparency, because almost every project will say that they do that, but Arca is the only one that you could go back, you could see every vote from the community, you can listen to almost every voice chat that has occurred within that telegram, with Joe, with Ed, with AI, and for the community as international as it is, to all have that same vision, the same belief of what needs to happen in crypto. That is rare. I've followed some other projects, and they've been out either longer or a little bit less than Arca, but either way, they're being faced with issues that, when you look at crypto in a competitive space, there's some animosity that starts to build. Development teams have issues. Arca does not. It is still focused on the vision that it laid out, and that's where, what's the word I'm looking for? The level of maturity that's guiding the project. It's not your typical crypto space. And I think that's probably the hardest thing that most researchers and investors and enthusiasts, they struggle seeing, because it's not known in the space. Crypto has set such a foundation and expectation out there. And that is the biggest false narrative that has ever been led, because no one has taken that moment to step back and look at, okay, where are we going to be at in 1 year? Where are we going to be at in 3 years? Where's the whole space going to be? Global adoption. Like, guys, we could get really deep on this. But the reality of it is that they truly focused on what the space needs. Not another swap out there, since there's already 50 of them, not another, blockchain. It's focused on what is truly needed in that crypto space, and they're trying to bring it all under one roof. And I think that's about the most I can elaborate on that. Beyond that, if that does intrigue you, I highly recommend checking out the Archangel token website and coming and checking out the Telegram. Well, all right. It got quiet in there. Sorry, guys. I did not mean to take the floor. Also, for anybody that's in here, and if you guys got questions, please don't be afraid to raise your hand. Let's see. I see one requested. Who do we got? Let's see. Blue Collar, sir. You are up on the floor with us. Welcome, buddy. Uh-oh.
Oh, man, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You're here. Yeah, we got you, buddy.
Myself, which is quite possible.
No, we can hear you.
Sounds like I'm talking to myself.
You might need to turn your speakers up. All right. Well, you're getting that figured out, Blue. So, yeah, Miss Brett, you, Caesar, you guys over there on the marketing side, it's been massive what you guys are doing. So I just want to personally give you guys the shout out and the props over there. I've seen you guys up, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, right along with me and right along with most of us in that community.
Yeah, that's true. That was definitely a habit last fall, and especially as we got towards migration and into the holidays and things like that. So yeah, I mean, we are able to see the analytics of our socials, but Facebook, which you'd think a lot of people don't, some people don't use it anymore. We're hitting huge numbers of exposure. And that's actually really exciting, because we've seen the numbers do nothing but go up as far as engagement with ads, as far as posts, things like that. So that side of the table with marketing and ads and exposure is actually really doing well.
Yeah, and I was one of the believers that Facebook was kind of a dead horse. And I've seen some of the numbers that you guys are still producing over there. That proved my belief to be wrong. And for you guys to get the reach, get the communication out there, it's all about planting them seeds. And you know what? When people look at the surface of ARCA, they may come across with the same mindset and the same convictions that most of us did at first. Like, holy crap, like this is a lot that they are taking on. But to get that exposure out there with Facebook, and if they actually follow what's happening, it's crazy of the progress being made within the project. But for what you guys have done, you know, hats off to you over in Facebook space, because I literally thought that was extinct. And I'm not a Facebook user. Hell, actually, I was not even a social media user up until a year ago. I avoided it. And thank you, Crypto, for ruining that for me. Which is what brought me here with you guys, you know, within YouTube, within Twitter, and, you know, the crypto community overall. A lot of these guys that are here speaking today, you're right. I can call you guys family. I spend more time with most of you than I do, you know, with my wife at home. And that's rough, but it's for the cause. And it's, you know, I don't want to sound like no cold or anything like that, but it's what that we believe in, what is being changed out here, the light that's being shed. There's spotlights being set up out in the space, and I'm telling you, they're getting ready to be turned on, and the crypto is not going to understand what the heck has happened to them. The mindset, the convictions, that the narrative that crypto has laid out for us to believe that this is how it's supposed to be, it don't have to be that way. And that's where my hook, line, and sinker is with the way I believe crypto, seeing all the problems out there. That's what prompted me to start a YouTube channel. And I'm not a guy to get in front of a camera. Heck, I'm not even a guy to get behind a microphone. This caused me to step outside that shell. And it's because I truly believe in what the space needs. I recognized it a long time ago, but I was one guy. And it's not possible for one person to evolutionize a space that is so decentralized. It's just not possible. It takes a community. It takes a team. 1 second, guys. We got somebody requesting to come up. Let me see who we got. Oh, it's Zen. All right, let's get Zen up on here with us. What is going on, brother? Oh, he's up. He's gone. There he is. What's going on, Zen? Well, alrighty then.
Blue Collar, have you figured out your?
Oh yeah, dude. I think I figued it out. Can you hear me now?
Welcome.
I think my phone is as good as Opie's, man. And I have 12% battery left. Anyway.
Oh shoot,
man.
You didn't have to really do that. You didn't have to say that. You had to throw me under the bus like that.
No. I'm saying that, man. We're on the same level over here, bro.
Nah, bro. I'm banning you. I'm banning you right now.
No.
Ban me, dude. Block me. Hey, Caddy, man, I like what you're saying, and I like what you guys are all saying. You know, and Crypto Angel Cakes, I like what you're saying. You guys are very articulate, and your grammar's a lot better than mine. But yeah, like I don't know. Honestly, I found Archangel when I was just scamming some. I was just looking at some Saitama whales, and somebody aped in a long time ago. Maybe it was October, November, and I was like, man. So I started digging into it. But what got me was I listened to one of the voice chats on Telegram that was recorded, and it was really long. But man, just to hear the passion of Joe, and to hear him talk like this isn't just some random dude who doesn't know anything. This guy right here knows some leadership stuff, you know? Yep. So I was like, all right. So
uh-oh, I hope his phone didn't die. Oh, gotta love Twitter Spaces. It's not flawless. Yeah, Blue Collar, I don't know if you can hear us, but yeah, your speaker cut off on you, brother. But no, you know, just to say, you know, what Blue Collar is saying, he's exactly right. That's what I seen, is that, you know, this isn't no 15, 20-year-old kid or somebody out there who just jumped on a site, built a token real quick and said, let's roll with this. You could see the intricacy that went behind the planning, the strategies, the execution of all this. And I think you can vouch for this too, Crispy, is, you know, we can talk to people all day long behind a speaker. But that moment that when you get to see that person face to face and you can truly feel the driving force behind them, when you can truly see that grassroots down home guy, that he is no different than me and you, but has that same passion that there's a need out here and it needs to be filled.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
that planning it's really showing in our progress. I mean, we're 9 months ahead of schedule.
Yes.
Other tokens, they launch with a promise, and then it's okay. Yeah, we'll launch that. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Here, we were actually seeing our progress launch when it's supposed to. Even like the project itself already had its ideas cemented before the token launched.
Yes. Let's see here. We got somebody else requesting to come up to speak. Let's see who we got. Who do we got? Oh, Blue Collar's back. All right. He must have got knocked out there. And I think I'm going to blame this on Twitter Space. It is not allowing me to approve it. Let's see, Crispy. Are you able to approve it there, sir?
I'm trying, but it's
not letting me approve it.
Going through.
Yeah, Blue Collar, Twitter does not like you today, brother.
Hey, Zen, can you speak now, or are you good to go?
Yeah, I've been good to go the whole time. I just didn't want to interrupt people.
What's up, brother?
Hey, man. How's it going?
Another day, another dollar, man. You know how it is.
Oh, yeah. So I wanted to talk about timing, right? Nobody ever realizes how many times in their life they are in the right place at the right time. People are going to say that, oh, we just got lucky. No, we didn't get lucky. It's the work of very smart individuals, and we're in a position to be in a very early stage of that and recognize it. Being aware that you're in the right place in the right time is the most important part of being in the right place at the right time. And I just lost my train of thought. Awesome.
It happens.
But yeah, I mean, you just look at the track record of the team, right? It's there. They're not hiding anything. There's things they can't release, obviously, because there's intellectual property things involved with like Guardian and stuff, because it is a platform. There's going to be algorithms and stuff. We don't want to just release that everywhere, because then it makes our own project, null and void if everybody can do it. But it's difficult to put in words. But this is a thing people have been waiting for their whole lives, and they haven't even realized it yet.
Right. Yeah.
We just have to wait. Look, the recovery is happening. As soon as that one whale guy got out, recovery is already starting. Where we track right along with the market. There's some swings, but it's crypto. If there's no swings, that's when you should be worried.
Yep. You're right.
Yeah, it's you just got to hold. The prices right now is so good. The gas has been low. It's perfect opportunity. I went back and I talked to everybody who they wanted to see how the project would do before they bought in. So they waited until I show them my wallet and it has $100,000 in it. And they're like, "Oh, I should buy in now." I'm like, "No, you need to wait till some people sell. Don't buy in right now." And I'm telling them to go back now because it's it got as low as almost to right after launch price. I'm like, it's probably never going to be this low ever again.
Yeah, you're right. And with the things going on in the world, I actually never anticipated us hitting this, this low of a floor. But I bought. I broke my own rules. And that's just because, with what's going on in the world overall, it's an ugly place outside of Detroit. Or let's talk about the real world, for a moment. There's a lot of uncertainty in the actual world. And crypto is going to be one of the first places that sees the burden from this. Especially the micro cap and macro cap projects, the ones that are out there just getting their foot, getting the foundations put in the ground. Crypto is a volatile market, an area. And if you are coming in with the emotions that you are going to, and now everybody knows I hate these phrases and I'm going to end up using them right now, but they're not in the context. So, people come in with the emotion that they're looking for that 100x, they're looking for that 50x. Guys, if you're coming into crypto and you're investing with that mindset, you're gonna hurt yourself more than help. if you come into crypto and you leave all emotion on the side at the door, and you look at the fundamentals of what's being created and actually leave price should not be an option if you're looking for the long term and the sustainable projects. If I've learned anything, a lot of people follow what they call TA or technical analysis and chart watching. There's a space for that. But ARCA is definitely not that type. It was never set out. It's not a pump and dump. It's not, they're out setting utility and they're creating that utility. And if you follow any project that holds substance within the space, there's hurdles to overcome. These hype coins, these meme coins, they never see these hurdles because 90% of their freaking budget is marketing and 10% goes to them. There's no fund set aside for development. There's nothing, feeding the project back for long-term sustainability to continue that growth. And if people leave that emotion at the side and truly look at the facts and the evidence in front of them, that should ease your research into your projects. And with Archangel, that's the approach that you would need to take. And with any project with utility for that matter, it's one of those things. I am a very unique guy. It takes a lot for me to follow a project. There's only, out of my year, I think there's 3 that I've actually done videos on. And it's because I tell people, you want me to vet your project? That's fine. One, I don't want no payment because it's not about making my pockets fatter. It's about if I can save somebody $1 from being scammed out there that day, it was a success. So I warn people, if you want me to vet your project, I'm going to talk about the good and the bad. And 90% of them projects run away. ARCA hit that head off. That was, I think, when Joe was like, hey, I'm going to be in town. Let's go have dinner. And I'm like, what? Like, it's just one of those things that you don't hear from a project that they want to come down and meet, and actually meet with you. But to sit down when having dinner and seeing the vision that's laid out for ARCA, I know that not a lot of people can understand those type of convictions and beliefs of where I come from, where you come from, Crispy, because they haven't had that opportunity. But with the progress that's the project's made in itself, that speaks millions also of where it's headed and where the space is going. I encourage you guys, take a snapshot of CoinMarketCap today. Of the tokens that are out there, especially the ones at the bottom of the list. Come back in 6 months, see which ones are still there. And then, do some research on the projects. Learn why did they not succeed? 90% of the time, it's because they didn't set out to be sustainable. They came out for that short term, that closed-ended utility that in 6 months could be dead, in a year could be dead. And the next project coming out could just copy and paste what they're doing and add a couple things to it. With ARCA, it's that innovative approach. Like you said, there's some IP or intellectual property that's going to be involved with this. And what that means is this is something that has never been done before. And a lot of projects say that. And then when it comes out, you realize that it's just a copy paste type deal. But when you can bring the resources that you need when you research a project under one hood, under one roof, imagine that you could do all your due diligence. You're not going to Google and running the risk of clicking a site that's been paid for by a scammer as an ad, and you didn't see that ad little icon next to it. There's so many ways to end up down a rabbit hole, and it's recognized and it's being put together of ways to streamline your research, to lower your own FUD, your own fear, your own uncertainty, and your own doubt in what you're doing. It's targeted to expose that to the 94, 96% of the people in this world that either don't know crypto or has heard the horror stories that are involved. And that's what we're trying to do, is to mitigate some of them horror stories. We want people to have that good experience and not be able to say, hey, I got scammed. Hey, I clicked this bad link. The next thing I know, I connected my wallet to a site that I thought was real and my contents were emptied. For the ones who don't know, they see a new token appear in their wallet and they're like, oh, what's this? And they go to sell it and realize that's not the best choice to do. So just actually, I'm going to use this as a little educational moment. So I'm going to take the floor for about 1 minute, guys. If you end up with tokens in your wallet you did not purchase, do not interact with them. It is a common scheme out there that is called a dusting scheme. What that does is there's no harm in them sitting in your wallet. besides staring you at your face. And that temptation is going to be there that it says, oh, it's worth this. And you go to sell it. And the next thing you know, your entire wallet has been empty. Guys, this is something that's really common out there. It's one of the more common schemes of the dozens that are available. You got to remember that you are your first line of defense. You are your only line of defense when it comes to the safety of your money. Your seed phrase, that is you, yours, and yours alone. I don't even care if your mother's asking for your seed phrase. You don't give that to nobody because that's the only thing standing in between you and your funds. Secondly, a little advice out there, Wallet Connect. If you have your wallet connected to a website, make sure that that website is valid, it's legitimate, because it's real easy for somebody to go on Google, pay for an ad space, throw their site at the top of the list and change one character in there. And what they've done is they clone the site that you're looking for, but when you go to connect your wallet, your funds are gone. These are the things that at this time that you need to be aware of out there. This is just some of the ways that you can get caught up in a bad situation. And that's without talking about the actual scams and the honeypots and the rug pulls. You know, we're talking about the stuff that you can prevent. To take you over to that side, you know, scams and honeypots and malicious code, malicious contracts, it's out there. And if you don't know what you're doing, then you just don't know. You don't know to ask if you just didn't know to begin with. And that's the biggest problem that's been exposed is there's no centralized resource. There's hundreds of resources out there for you, but there's nothing centralized. There's nothing that you can go to and say, hey, I can do my research here, every bit about it. Because that's where most people fall into them rabbit holes is while doing research. And it takes one wrong click to end up down a bad path. So again, I just want to remind everybody, you know, be cautious, be aware, question everything you do. If your gut tells you that it don't feel right, trust your gut. There's going to be no developer from a team that's going to, you know, send you a message, say, hey, I need an ETH. I'll get it back to you in an hour though. Like, get the hell out of here with that crap. It's sad, man.
If somebody DMs you a link, just don't click on it at all.
Right. And I'm telling you, if you guys are in a social community, in Telegram, in Discord, whatever, if you end up with a DM, the very first thing you need to do is jump into the main room, whether it's the main Telegram room or the main chat channel inside that Discord, and you tag that person that DM'd you or who you think DM'd you. You know, I'll throw this out there. I'll throw one of my embarrassing moments out here in the space. I was helping a project, and Oaf can actually vouch for this. Me and him was helping a project build a Discord. And in that process, you know, we got to know that project team pretty well, and I didn't question nothing about it because this was they were starting off as a very high market cap. The project held a lot of substance. And there was a lot of testing going on in the back end, and we knew this publicly. Well, I had a friend say that, hey, they were going to DM me in the main public room. Well, 30 seconds later, I get a DM from the name, from the photo, carrying himself as if I am talking to that person. And I fell for it, guys. This is where I say trust your gut. Is while this was all going on, we carried a conversation for about 3 or 4 minutes as, you know, friendly gesture. And the next thing is, hey, you know, we're doing this testing right now. Binance or Coinbase would not allow me to pull any more ETH today, pull any more money, whatnot. And that's a common circumstance. If you're around in crypto, some of these places have max caps on what you can do on a daily basis. Well, I got ahead of myself. I was scheduled to go live for a stream in literally like 5 minutes. So my gut was telling me, like, everything was telling me to stop. But I'm like, you know what? I'm helping this project. I had that mindset, like, this is my opportunity to kind of show in good faith, right? That good faith cost me just about $3,000 that day. It cost me a full ETH because I thought I was doing something good. And the next thing I know, while I am getting typed to in my DM, I look in the main room and I see the same person typing at the same time. Now, by this point, I was typing to say, I've already sent it. You should be receiving it. And that's when the red flag just like, what the hell did I do? I immediately went back to the wallet that I sent that transaction to. I realized it's what they call a clean wallet. It was a wallet created for a single transaction use. And I traced it back. Yep, I got scammed. And this guy has scammed over $6 million from people. And by the second, it was adding up. My whole point of this, guys, is no matter how cautious you are, how much you think that you're being safe, always doubt every move you do. Always question it. Always take that extra moment to look into what you're doing. There's never going to be a project team that's going to come out and ask you for an ETH, ask you for 3 BNB, ask you for whatever. It's one of the most common things out there. And what they do is they feed on your emotion. They know that you are trying to help out, you're trying to be involved. And that's what pisses me off the most. And I will say that is when somebody tries to take advantage of your heart, of your beliefs, of your morals. 90% of us out here, we're paycheck to paycheck. You know, we're all started in that same struggle, and why we ended up in crypto to begin with. I didn't come into it because of 100x or whatever. That wasn't my point. My point was I looked at my traditional investments, and when I'm losing money, there's no reward, but it's all risk. And if I'm going to introduce myself to that risk, I'm like, I might as well introduce it to a high risk, high reward situation. So I came into crypto with that mindset. And let me tell you, as far as projects go, I've been safe. My due diligence, my vetting has worked out very well. But I got caught up in something as simple as a cloned account scheme. It's just something I wanted to kind of educate the world on and let you guys know. Sorry, I kind of ran off with that one, but
it's okay, man. It's a sensitive topic, and that's another thing. These scammers are never gonna stop. So you always have to be do your due diligence. Be very cautious. It's okay to be paranoid. You have my permission. I'm a little bit of paranoid. In my day job, I work as a locksmith, and every day I fix break-ins and little things people can do to stop things like that, and they don't do. But just be very, very careful. If you ask a question about wallets in any Discord or Telegram, and somebody immediately DMs you, ignore them completely. Unless the person tagged you and said they were going to DM you immediately, and then still verify. Yep. It's going to happen, and they're never going to go away. And as we get more successful, they're going to try harder. So, just a little bit of caution is always good for everything.
Yes,
doesn't apply to this, and then it also goes to what the team is taking. Caddy hit a lot of topics just now. Some of it was what the goals of Guardian, right? What it's aiming to do. The team are building projects that are not found in the space. They're innovating, and they're doing things, and they're doing it in a manner that is very untraditional in the crypto space, right? I've even seen stuff like, I can't believe these guys are going to try to treat this like a traditional investment. Why not? How dare they build something solid that has utility that we can wait and take profits? Because as much as everybody says they're diamond hands, everybody has their number. At some point, everybody takes profits. We're here to change our situations, right? It's just important to do so where you don't tank the projects and screw everybody else over. But that's neither here nor there, right? It's about smart investing either way, whether it's crypto or not crypto.
Right.
These guys, they're acting in a manner more like a traditional Fortune 500 company, with the Guardian stuff that's upcoming. Which, if you have questions, you should probably just go to their Telegram. And Scratch is pending, Q1 release as well. These guys are taking moves that professional companies do. These aren't just like everybody was saying earlier, one dev team, email me for all your stuff. These guys have teams. They have foresight. This is going to be really, really awesome about how all this stuff goes down. And we are in the right place at the right time. There is going to be a change in the markets in crypto, and Archangel, all of the ecosystem projects are poised to do really well when that happens.
Yep. Yeah, that's one thing, with Arca, with Scratch, with, Guardian, and with the concurrent things that are going on with that ecosystem and the growth that's happening. I don't want to indulge too much. With what you're saying with Guardian, Scratch, and Arca, they're taking that approach. They're not looking at what can we do to be out there today. It's what are we going to do to be on our feet in a year, in that 3 years again. I'm telling you, the due diligence that goes into the project, most people think projects are so easy to do and so easy to launch. And I'm telling you, I thought I used to have that mindset until, flip the tables. When you start to get exposed to what truly goes behind a real project being produced, and that is taking that due diligence and the research that goes in, guys. I think that between all of the mods that are in here today, that we are probably easily in the 10,000 hour mark of time invested into what this project is doing and where it's going. That's what I mean, that it's too much for one person to do. It's impossible. Like for us, we got people that have their traits, that have their skill sets. For example, we got Storm with our graphics, and he's just killing it on that side. We have Caesar and Miss Bread that is working with the marketing, with Facebook, with Reddit, with, you, Crispy, too, with Reddit. Lucifer, sir, your research and your analysis, data analysis, guys, everybody has their own part that they shine. And that's why it takes that community to make this happen. Everybody plays a role, and they have a skill that they shine on, and they have skills that they want to improve. And that is the biggest accomplishment. We can talk about the utilities and stuff being created. To me, the biggest accomplishment is this project is opening your mind to what you are capable of. Most people have the skills within them. They need that exposure. And you usually don't get that opportunity. And with ARCA, it's presented them opportunities. Miss Brett, how many people do you guys have in the research that you guys have done with competitions? And I'll let her go with that one. And then Crispy, I got a question for you with your exchanges,
So what are you talking about, like the teams that we put together for different things, or?
Yeah. It's not just you or just Caesar. What does it take to make this happen?
It takes it takes us asking community members for help. No, I mean, it's not just Caesar and I in marketing. VJ, who's in India, is also part of our group, and we actually only see him. We get to work with him on Telegram only if we stay up late. And then it's like into the beginning of his day. And we get maybe an hour and a half or so of overlap time with him. So it actually is, even in that aspect, a global effort on our team. And I believe Antonio's part of our marketing team too, Quester. And then as far as the contest, like that's just something completely separate that we decided to put together just to, kind of bring the community together, have some fun. We don't make you guys work too terribly hard to win stuff. But Kira is on the team. Lucifer's on the team. And it's great to collaborate with people who aren't always involved in like the big behind the scenes stuff. It's great to just pull different community members in and let them have a voice and let them have a say and make decisions on stuff. And it actually works out really well because we have a lot of different people on a lot of different teams and a lot of different, chats and places. And as far as I can see, like it runs like clockwork. We got some good people.
It does. And my whole point of this is I wanted to bring up, in the fact that when you are vetting projects and you enter their community and you see just a handful, 4 or 5 people that is trying to do everything, that should be a flag of where the project's progress is going. With ARCA, every piece of the puzzle, whether it's the exchanges, whether it's marketing, whether it's the competitions, it's the research analysis. Each one of them groups has 4 to 10 people. And the biggest part about that is not everybody in there is the best at that particular scenario, but they're getting exposed to it. We're all learning together. With crypto, it innovates every day. You can think you know everything, and that's the most dangerous person out there. I want to throw that. And somebody who thinks they know everything is about as dangerous as they come. But when you recognize the fact that you can expose yourself to something to gain a higher knowledge and willing to do that, that is what ARCA also provides to its community. To me, no dollar value can go against to the knowledge and the experience that's being built. I could go to college for 4 years and probably not gain as much as what we've done here in 5 months with the exposure, with the hands-on experience. It's a group of 50, 70 people behind the scenes that are all putting in the time that they can devote to this. And that's what has made ARCA what ARCA is, the community itself, like, for example, Crispy, sir, like with the exchanges, how many hours of research did you guys have in behind that?
Oh my God. Like, I can't even count. I mean, and the team that was put together, they flew through the research way faster than I expected. I know we started, I want to say on a Sunday. By Thursday, everyone had submitted what they were tasked to do already. And I was like, wow, that is way quicker than I expected. Like, I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, but you won't get that from a paid developer. You won't get those type of results from a paid team for that matter.
No. You pay a team, they'll put it at the bottom of their list, and they'll get to it when they get to it. And that's the best thing about Archangel is Joe will put something into main chat in the Telegram. Hey, we're putting together a team to do a charity initiative, or to exchange research, or to do this, or to do that. And it's actual members of the community who will volunteer and work to do that. So they're learning how to do something within a project, like you said, gaining experience doing that, and they are benefiting their own investment.
Yes.
But speaking of exchanges, we did finally decide on one, and I know the question comes up a lot of, when are we going to finally list? When are we going to list? Well, we're doing it the right way. Exchanges are not cheap. Just the listing fee alone is extraordinarily high. On top of that, you have to provide liquidity, and then in certain cases, you have to back that liquidity with money, right?
Yep.
So if you give 50,000 worth of ARCA, you then have to give 50,000 worth of a stablecoin, right?
Yep.
So automatically your liquidity is doubled, and then the listing fee. I mean, a top 10 easily can charge a $300,000 security fee or a deposit. That's not cheap for a 5-month-old project. So what we're doing is, sure, we can pay outright for our LBank listing right now, but by allowing our transaction taxes to raise the money, we are ensuring that our budget will last for the entire duration of the project. The biggest killer of a project is they ran out of money by spreading it way too thin, way too quickly.
Yep.
And we're about 5% gathered so far for our listing fee.
Yeah, I think the last time I looked, the goal for LBank was at 80 or 85,000, and we're trying to raise this organically. Like you said, we could go to the budget and it could be pulled, but the community itself, they recognize the fact that we start eating that under the mattress funds, that you're cutting yourself off at the throat, off at the knees before you even begin. And to do this the right way, if you go to, a real world business, and I know most people hate to relate crypto to the real world, but guys, it's the true reality of what is coming. And if you treat it as a real business, you're going to be successful. And that's exactly what's going on here. They're not spending money that has not been earned. They're not spending the reserves on things yet. Now, because what happens when it comes a time that there is a chance to truly carve out a niche in this market, and our only holdback is finances. If you've burned through all that to get your name out there, and now you have a chance to evolutionize the space even more, but you don't have the funds, that's just an example of that type of scenario that could play out. And I think, Lucifer, sir, you made that graphic that is showing what's going on with the funds being raised. Thank you for that too, man.
Yeah, no, that's something I'm tracking on the back end for our donation. Our goal is 80,000 for LBank, and obviously our NFT was tied into that, so we're going to percentage of that, and what people decide to donate on the back side of their purchase as well. So yeah, right now we're only at 3,929, but I expect that to start growing shortly with our NFT getting out, our NFT space getting out. So, yeah, we'll get there. It's just a matter of time.
Yes, and speaking of NFTs, man, I hope Storm's still in here listening because I've watched that man evolve from back in August to the type of work that's being created today, and that is some dedication behind him. And I personally don't get a chance to talk with him very much, or Aeroflex, or that side of the world too often. But just to watch one person's skills evolve to where he is today, again, that takes me back. No dollar amount can go to the education, the experience that goes behind this. And when you get that opportunity to watch one person truly grow into themselves, he started off with JPEGs and PNGs, with the basics, and now he's out there creating NFTs that are just freaking fire. If I can say so myself, man. Joe beat me to the first Arca one. I was trying to get it, and he's like, "Hey," I go to try to buy it, and it says it's been sold already. I was like, "You son of a gun!" And I look back, and all of a sudden, it's Joe's picture. But all the pieces that come out, it's amazing to see, where we were August, September, October, and the maturity, the mindset that goes behind of what all this takes to see everybody evolve. That gives me, chills, because that's what it's about to me. So yeah, sorry, that goes kind of my own emotional moment. Like, that's my passion that drives me. Okay, now I bored everybody. My bad, my fault.
Hey, Caddy, man, I appreciate your story about getting scammed. A majority of people have been scammed or have bought into scam tokens. You know what I mean? So you just got to watch out for that kind of thing. You guys pretty much talked about it a whole bunch, which is nice, which is good for the community. I have a crap load of questions, but honestly, I only really have two right now. And I'm going to start this first question off real simple. So Kira's motivation, I was wondering, when does she get into crypto, and what does she know? When does she get into Archangel? And the other question I have that maybe Caddy you could talk about is, is the dev team, are there separate dev teams for each of the 13 ecosystem projects for Guardian, or are they intermingled? Like, who are these people? Everybody, I hear questions. Oh, are the devs doxed? Well, that's a complicated question when you have 13 different projects inside of one project. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially when it comes to the development of Guardian. So, that's the one thing that, yes, each project out there, there's a few of those components that will be big enough to be its own project, its own token, and to be self-sustaining. But everything that is being created is by its own development team. I can't go into too much details because of NDAs with the development for Guardian, but that is being done by an actual real world brick and mortar development team. This isn't just with that aspect of it. It's not just like a couple guys like me and you behind a keyboard and trying to put something together.
Yeah.
With what Guardian's setting out to do, that is being professionally developed. So we can't really go in, I can't disclose anything.
Let me jump in here for half a second. Just to clarify, because of the phrasing of the question, there are not 13 token projects on Guardian.
Right. Okay.
They are components of Guardian. Some of those components will be strong enough on their own to become their own token, but the components themselves are all facets of what Guardian is going to do, rather than project directly involved in it.
But I kind of want to understand, are there different dev teams and different programmers for each of the projects, or do they overlap? And how many are there? Like, I know Caddy says and we've also seen, we're paying for legitimate programming company to do some of the work, but that's for Guardian. But I mean, yeah, there's 13 different projects. Yeah, they don't all have their own token, but they all have their own ecosystem or their own whatever they're doing. Are they different groups of people, I guess?
Are you asking if okay, so each of these components that are being made, is the question that you're asking, are all of the back ends, all of the infrastructure of that particular component being developed individually or all together as part of Guardian with one dev team that we paid for? Is that the question?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Look, I understand. Yeah, I guess you could answer the question that way. But the other thing, too, is I'm sure there's more than one programming group of people for all 13 of these projects. But how much overlap is there? Is there overlap? Are there 100 people? Or is there
I'm just trying to clarify the question. I'm going to hand that thing right back off to Caddy. I just wanted to make sure that I had covered the bases of, component versus project. That's all.
Yeah, I'd like to just, I guess, nail that down a little bit because people ask that, and I'd like to have an answer. You know what I mean?
Yep. So with that there, Blue Collar Man. So the 13 components is all part of Guardian. It all falls under the same hood. Now, as of the couple of the components that do end up being built with enough utility to spin off into their own project, at that point, they will end up with their independent development teams. They will have their own project manager. They will have their own resources available to them. So currently, as everything is spinning up and being built, everything falls under the hood of Guardian, under the hood of that development team. So I hope that gives a little clarification to that aspect.
Yeah, that makes sense. I appreciate that.
Hey, no problem, man. And also, shout out to you, sir. You're one person that I've seen, evolve out in the space. You started off, stepped outside of shell, started your own YouTube channel, and appreciate everything you do. Watching people evolve, again, I made that point earlier. That's what drives me with you guys every day, seeing everybody step outside and touch the realm of what they don't know. Now, as far as Miss Kira Motivation, she's not able to get it. She sent me a DM. She's not able to get on the speaker. As many of you guys do know, that she is my wife. So with that out there, full disclosure, I've always been transparent about me and who I am and what I do. She got into crypto. I kind of drug her into this. At first, she had no desire about crypto until it started taking up my time almost from sun up to sundown. And that's when it started to get interesting to her. She's like, all right, what is dragging my husband away every day? And every day that goes around, I have watched her go from being a home healthcare worker to starting to do some graphics and things, trying to follow what Storm's doing because it's something that has always intrigued her. And she's had an opportunity to be able to adventure into that. So again, like for her, crypto has been able to open up that mindset and expose some of the skills that she's capable of, just right along with dozens and dozens of us. So as far as what got her into crypto, it was me.
Thanks, Caddy, man. I appreciate that answer. There's also one other person I recognize on here, the Historian Knight. I was wondering how he got into crypto and how he or she, how this person got into crypto or even got into Archangel. If they're interested in talking. But hey, man, this is a good community and there's only like 20 people here and we all know each other pretty much.
Let me jump in real fast. I just had something come up. I'm going to have to hop out, but thank you guys for coming through. And if you guys have any questions, send me a message on either Twitter or through Telegram, and I'll help you out.
Thanks, Sophie.
All right, see you guys.
Oh, I pissed them off. All right. So yeah, Historian, man. If you're not comfortable coming up, we completely understand. These spaces definitely aren't made for everybody. We just like coming out and being able to kick some time around with you.
I think he left.
Yep, he left.
He bounced. Hey, but you know what? I don't know if my phone bailed out on me earlier, but the thing is, man, with Archangel and Guardian and this whole ecosystem, man, I could see in the next 6 months when it all gets rolled out and people start using it, it's just going to be a popular thing, and people are going to realize, damn, dude, that Archangel token, you know, why didn't I hear about that? You know, I don't know.
It's been flying under the radar. You know, it's one of the most undervalued cryptos out there, in my opinion.
I agree, man, and I'm sad because I put a crap load of money in a while ago, and man, I could buy that same amount for just a little bit of money right now, but I'm all out, dude. You know, I'm all out of money. Just getting up. Sorry, can't do it.
The worst mistake I ever did was doing the math on what I could have had if I bought every dollar I spent, but I bought now.
Yeah. Just don't. Yeah, just I guess dollar cost average, man. You know.
Yes, that's why DCA is such a big thing out there.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. That's about all I got, though. You know.
Yeah.
If anyone else wants to jump in.
Onto what you were talking about, and I heard it mentioned a couple times here that Archangel is changing the space the way people invest in crypto, right? So what I've seen, at least over the last 6 years, is, you know, somebody finds a project, they say, okay, I'll invest, you know, whatever, $500, $1,000. I get X amount of tokens. I'm going to wait until, you know, this particular price, and then I'll have $1 million and I'll be set. You know, that's just the way a bunch of people have been investing. But Archangel is changing that with the way their ecosystem is going to work. Me personally, I don't plan on ever selling a single Archangel token I have. And I know that sounds ridiculous. Like, why would you invest in something you don't plan on selling? It's the way the distribution of value ecosystem will work, in that by staking my Archangel, I get reflections from every single project token in our ecosystem, right? So you can think of it like a mutual funds in crypto. And by 2023, we're going to have, 4 confirmed tokens feeding into our staking pool. So I buy 1 token, I stake it, and in return, I'm getting 4+ different tokens, all with their own values, their own market caps, their own liquidity pools. That is insane in thinking about how one can live off entirely of reflections for the rest of their life and have that financial freedom without even touching the original token they invested in.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And the thing too is we're talking legit projects. We're not talking meme coins. You know, we're not talking another NFT launch pad. Like, dude, Coinbase is coming out with their NFT marketplace. So they're going to take over the space, but there's all these, meme coins. Oh, we're going to come out with a game. We're going to come out with a blockchain. Dude, you know what? There's at least 10 level 1 or layer 1 blockchains that have at least 1,000 programmers. Like, they've been doing it for years. They're legit blockchains. Why do you think that you could come up with your own blockchain? That's not a good idea.
Exactly. Like,
at all.
In crypto now, to survive, your project needs a unique idea that is going to provide utility and change the space. A swap, an NFT gaming platform, and an NFT marketplace are not going to do that anymore.
Yeah, you know what? There are legit gaming platforms that are, going to be on the new Xbox and the new PlayStation or whatever. That's great. And they have a team of a crap load of people, programming that. Who in there, you think you're going to buy a token that's going to be a gaming platform that's going to be able to compete with those guys? Doubtful, man. It's doubtful.
Not even our godsend of developers can compete with 1,000 paid developers sitting in one room just coding nonstop.
Oh yeah, who are gaming programming people. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way. Like, it's not even a thing. So I don't know. Like, yeah, what Archangel's doing and Guardian is doing is impressive. Things that people are going to use in the space. And once more and more people start using it, the utility will become obvious and people will go, man, as long as investing in, say, Guardian token is worthwhile. You know what I mean? Let's say 6 months, 2 years from now, well, why would I buy a Guardian token? What is the utility? You know, that's the only hang up that I might be able to come up with, you know?
Yeah, and in Blue Collar, I wanted to point out something like you were talking about, you and Crispy there, is a very valid point. It's about the saturation of the space. If you think about it, all these blockchains being developed, like you said, 1,000 developers under one roof. Imagine if that light shed that there's so many other problems within crypto that needs that solution. It needs that innovation out there. It needs to be exposed. It needs to be torn down and seen what can be done about it. And the problem is we got so many great developers out there that are tied to solving something that's already been done. It's about the allocation of resources. And that's something that the crypto space overall just doesn't understand because it's stuck in that competitive mindset. And I think the more that as crypto evolves, as it becomes accepted, that's going to be a light that's going to shine bright is the reality of it. It's being saturated with the same stuff. And it's taking away from the true potential of the growth of crypto. That's one problem that just nobody really ever touches, but it's a big concern within the space. You're talking about 12 blockchains, 1,000 people per one. That's 12,000 developers. That is probably 90% of your legitimate blockchain and smart contract developers out there, your Solidity. That allocation of resources is why the space hasn't been able to move forward at a faster pace than it has. And I think that light is starting to shine brightly that is a big problem.
Yeah, I totally agree, man.
By the way, I meant to say this earlier real quick. Somebody had brought up Reddit. I know CRN Man 3 is in here. Huge thanks to him because he has been posting every single announcement and update that Joe posts in the Telegram onto Reddit. And for those of us in the Telegram, we know how many announcements Joe posts and how long they are. So just got to get all of them onto Reddit. He's amazing. Hats off to you, sir. Thank you so much for doing that.
Yes, definitely. That is one thing. That relay of information right now, there's no central place that anybody can go to get all that info. It's most likely either a platform they don't use or they're unfamiliar with it. And again, that's just, another step of where a community is highly beneficial to a project. If it wasn't for, CRM Man doing that and just somebody from the community taking that moment to relay that info, to get that reach out there. So yes, thank you, CRM Man. That's huge. And to all of you guys, there's many of us that relay, Miss Brett over to Facebook, Antonio over to Instagram, Joe himself and some of the community on the Archangel Twitter. We understand that, not everybody uses the same resources. And that's the big problem is there is no central place. And I'll leave that pondering in people's minds right there.
I like that. And you know what? That's why I think Herald is going to be a huge thing. It's going to be a one place where you could get just only announcements, man. You're not going to get all these crazy memes, of rockets and moons and all this crap. You're just going to get the announcements from the programs or the token project people straight from the horse's mouth. Herald, man, I'm totally bullish on that project.
Are you saying you don't like my rocket and frog memes?
I do like them, but when you're trying to, if you're just a new person and you're like, oh man, I'm gonna look at some project, I've gone past Bitcoin and Ethereum and I'm looking into altcoins, other altcoins, and I really want to know what's going on. It's just like just say Saitama, for example. Well, where am I going to go? Or let's use Archangel, for example. Where am I going to go? I'm going to go to the announcement channel. Okay, that's one place. But maybe not everything's there. You know what I mean? If you can go to one place like Herald and you could go, all I'm getting is facts from the dev team. That's it. I think that's going to be bullish, man. I'm totally positive on that.
100%.
Exactly.
And like I said before, it's like having the CoinMarketCap, the YouTube, the Facebook, the Twitter, the CoinGecko, the DEX tools, the whatever all on one platform, it's going to be huge for crypto.
Yep. So that intimidation that, a lot of these newcomers hit, again, just to go back on that aspect, that right there, you named 7 or 8 different resources that one would have to visit just to get a little insight into a project. Now, imagine bringing it all under one hood, and you are able to get, like you said there, Blue Collar, we haven't touched a lot on the components of Guardian. I like to leave a lot of secrets out there. I like to leave people's minds blown and intrigued of what's happening. But Herald is going to be massive. That is a huge recognized issue within the crypto space is communication. There's so many places out there that you could find info. And the problem is most of those platforms that they post this stuff, it is real easy to make a cloned account that looks very similar. When you give that centralized platform where that only a developer is able to go in, or an administrator of a team, we're talking later phases. This is not something that's going to come out with Guardian right out of the gate. And I also want to remind people with that too, is, most projects launch with zero utility, with all hopes and promises. Guardian has been being built in the background for the last 4.5 months under, self conditions, and for good reason. With that, all the stuff, all the components that Blue's speaking of here, it's not going to release with every single one of them components functional, but it is still being developed. It's going to release with some utility, with some things that definitely makes it useful. We're talking about the markers hub, data analysis, or market data, not data analysis, but market data, among a couple others. And if you want to find out what those other ones are, I highly encourage, again, jump on Telegram. You can do it on a website and easily find what's going on. But when Herald, when the phase 2 development starts with Guardian, it's going to roll over to, I guess we can talk about this a little bit, is what they're calling SSO, or single sign-on. Now, imagine that you can go just, I tell people, just close your eyes and imagine this, because it's really hard to vision. Because there's a lot of pieces and a lot of moving parts of this, and it's all about being able to integrate it all into one place. That's another key point, is the integration aspects. Every component will rely on another component within that ecosystem to bring it to its fullest potential. Again, crypto being as competitive as it is, and you get those projects out there with a one piece of a solution, but they don't communicate that to another great project with a great idea that they both could benefit from. When you bring that SSO, that single sign-on, imagine that you can go somewhere and you're going to get your portfolio. You're going to be able to add your tokens. You're going to be able to track things. You're going to be able to track the whales within that project, or top wallet holders within that project. You're going to be able to pull up one token, and if there's a new announcement, you're going to have a button that lights up, and you can click that announcement, and that's from the developers or administrators of that project. It relaxes so much fun and uncertainty within yourself. You don't have to worry, is this information valid? Is this, true? Is there substance to this? You will know that came from a project in itself. So yeah, Blue Collar, that's a huge piece of this puzzle. And it's just one of the components. That's something that the crypto community recognizes is a big issue. And it's real easy. Anybody in this world, if you've been in a relationship, if you just talk with people, and you can hear one thing, and by the time it gets to the next person, the details change. And by the time it gets through 8 people, the whole narrative of what you're saying is completely the 180. When you can rely on that one single resource, and that is the valid and the true information that's out there, that's going to be massive. I don't want to talk too much more about that aspect right now. We'll let it all unfold. Again, the development of what's going behind Guardian, there's a lot of substance behind it, and it's all spawned from Arca. Again, it's the Arca's community that's getting the word out, the market analysis that hit that community, hit Twitter, hit Reddit. It's you guys that are guiding the path of what the needs are. And that was just one major area that had room for improvement. So yeah, again, Blue Collar, man, thank you for bringing that point up.
Hey, and you know what, man? The phase 2, the single sign-on option, that like integrates modern IT with crypto. Like, I think it's a huge thing. The only concern I have is, dealing with the company I work with, we have similar SSO stuff, and it's almost like a security nightmare. So how are they dealing with the security of it? I mean, I know that's a little bit outside the space, but
so I'm just going to refer back to what the aspect of who's building Guardian, who's the developers. Like I said, we can't disclose that information because it's not somebody like you or me. It's an actual hired development team within the United States that reports to an office building every day. This is what they do for a living. This is their business, their career. It has that professional and intellectual backing behind this. It will, over time, have a dedicated team to help with the maintenance of the platform. It's not that they're going to develop it and be done. These are also going to be people that is going to be able to maintain that. Again, the level of the development, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. The tier of developers that is doing this, it's not just some people that's sitting in your garage. I think that's the best I could say with that one.
Yeah, I could totally respect that. I mean, I could see that as being a huge thing for, honestly, all of the crypto. I don't want to say degens, but the whole crypto alt space.
Yep.
Bullish.
Yeah, and that's the approach they're taking with crypto as it's evolving with, the regulation aspects. That's something that nobody wants to talk about. But I hate to tell you, I'm that guy that will face the hard truth off head on. That time is coming, whether we like it or not. With the development, with the mindset that's gone behind the development of this, it's made to be sustainable. The people within our community, some of the leaders that are helping guide this, again, everybody, I want to remind everybody that they hold specific skill sets that benefit the entire project overall. And some of those skill sets are very hard to imagine. But what's been demonstrated is insanely massive to the intelligence and the years of dedication to these type of developments, rather it's been in blockchain space or real world IT, or data analysis inside a building. These skills, it's like you are finding not a business that has the good and the bad, but you're getting the best and the most out of one's potential. And so by exposing this to a community and how it's all coming together, the community itself holds some very high educative levels within their space. And when you are able to combine all that together is when you get that momentum going in the development. And to be able to add that real substance of real world developers that do this, every day, that to me is people know when to say that they're not the best to be able to do that situation. So let's go find it. Let's go find who is the best at what they do. And the diligence and research that goes behind those third-party resources, it's not just opening a phone book, putting your finger on and picking a person. There's hours that went behind understanding that outsource capability. The guidance and the development, the path behind it, it relates back to when Miss Brett was talking about the strategies and everything that is being executed within this. It shows the guidance. And the only way you can expose yourself to understand that guidance is being active within the project and watching it unfold firsthand. Sorry, guys, I got on another little, when I get going, man, I get going.
No, this has been a great space, you guys. Glad everyone came in. I do have to hop out, though. I have another commitment I have to be on. So appreciate it, everyone, for sharing your life, your introduction to crypto, and all of you helping within Archangel and the Guardian platform. It's really appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Lucifer, too, sir, for all you do, too, brother. Again, it's all of us. It's not one. When one falls, we all fall, and we all bring each other back up, man. So
hey,
I appreciate it.
I've been practicing, man. I can make a swap now in about 4 hours. So
you've been practicing. We need to talk. No,
I'm getting there. So I built a test swap on my own the other night, and it took about 4 hours. So
Oh, heck yeah, man. Heck yeah.
Crazy how much coding do it, man. Oh my God.
Oh, dude, I would love to be able to follow up with you with that and the experience, you're gaining over that. And heck, one day maybe we can come out here and explain that experience, because let me ask you this. Could you 6 months ago develop something of that nature or have the capability, just out of curiosity?
No, I definitely could not. Most of my coding is in M code, because I deal with a lot of 3D printing. I print out prototypes for stuff at my in real life job that I'm working at, for like portable mining packs that we're working on. You can take them anywhere, self-sustaining, stay cool, developing all the components that go into that. So yeah, it was very eye-opening changing the code, but once you get into it, it's kind of similar, but man, linking all of your backdoor sites to it and the security to it, holy crap. It's once you're in though, and you're plugged in and you're just going, and it helps to have like 3 or 4 screens, but holy crap, there's so much to it. But yeah, love
that light sheds. I mean, I tell you, where that light probably shed, where that smile hit your face, was the moment you was able to debug, deploy it, and be able to actually use it. I bet that was just a big accomplishment to yourself there.
Oh yeah. Like I said, it was a test swap, but I mean that's what I called it. But man, it was knowing how to do that now, and I mean anyone can do it. If I can do it, anyone can build a swap, and that's just swap is just one aspect. But I'm trying to get into the other back end security coding of websites too, but that's another week, not now.
Yes. Well, man, I appreciate you, Lucifer, sir. We'll see you around in the chats and look forward to seeing you back here in another Twitter space with us.
All right, guys. Have a great night.
Thanks, Lucifer. You too.
All right. See you guys.
So, yeah, this has been awesome, guys. I think we've been here now for about, going on almost a couple hours.
Yeah, 2 hours almost.
It's just like the cafe, man. It just lose track of time.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of the cafe, do we have anything big coming, Miss Brad?
I guess not.
Yeah,
I don't think she can speak it, so she's just a listener right
now. Yeah, I guess we'll find out there on the cafe. We've had one community member. Let's see who we got a request. Oh, she had to come back in. Hold up. 1 second. Let's get her back up here. All right, you should be here, Miss Brad.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we got you. I don't think she can hear us.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yep, we got you.
Sorry.
Yep.
I had to get in the car and start driving someplace, and I lost connection, and then I was punished, and I was only allowed to come back as a listener. So cafe. All right. So question about big things coming up. So the past couple weeks, we have been happily able to do the $1 trillion. Yeah, right. 1 trillion token giveaway. Thanks to a very generous holder of Archangel, who does want to continue doing that every week. So every week on Cafe, we'll be doing something to, make somebody's life a little cooler with some more Archangel tokens. And we'll keep doing it. Yeah, this Sunday, the following one. Who knows when it'll last? Who knows how long?
Yeah, that's awesome. I think we're going on like week number 20, 21, 20. Heck, I've lost track with that. I know we've been with the cafe since pretty much launch.
Sorry, I think I lost you guys again for a second. Okay.
Nope, we got you there. do got somebody coming up to request to speak. Let me get him up on stage. And Mr. Jack Henderson. Let's see here.
You know what, guys? I actually am going to have to take off as well, but it was so nice seeing everybody jump in and talk to everybody. Thank you.
What can we do for you, Jack? Okay. Do you got a question for us there, Jack? All righty. So that was interesting.
If you can call it that, yeah.
All righty. There we go. Trying to figure out what's going on here. But so yeah, guys, I guess we've been at this for a couple hours. I guess we could go ahead and call it quits for today. We'll be back tomorrow on YouTube, and yeah, we'll plan for another space here soon.
Yeah, it was great talking to everybody. Great, getting the word about our project out here on Twitter with our first ever hosted Twitter space.
Yes.
Awesome. Good times, guys. I'll see you guys next time.
Yep, we'll see you, Blue. See you guys.